We're live. Okay, yay! We
Yeah.
did it. So, hello everyone. Welcome to those of you who are watching right now or at a different time. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday evening if you live on the East Coast, or afternoon if you're on the Pacific Coast. I'm in Washington D.C., so it's late here. But very exciting. Today we have a very special guest, Sabrina Perez. Yay, this is her second live. So if you haven't seen her first, go check it out. It should be on our page if you just scroll down a little bit. And yeah, if you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, so I'm Sabrina Perez. I am originally from the Bay Area. I actually am in Central Time, so we're probably all over the country right now. So let's see, I currently am finishing my bachelor's degree. I go to Maharshi University, and I have some experience in women's health and family planning, birth control, and I'm also a writer.
Awesome. That's great. So yeah, today we're going to talk a little bit about family planning. Sabrina's the expert, so she's going to help us out with that. And if you just want to start, could you just tell us like what family planning is and where it starts? I know when I think of family planning, I'm like, okay, that's me getting ready to have a family. But when you actually break it down, it's totally a lot more than that.
Yeah, so basically family planning, it starts when you become sexually active. You know, we should always think about the goals that we want in life, some of the things that are important to us, because, you know, accidents happen if we're not prepared, if we're not thinking about thinking ahead and what we want. So it begins really when you become sexually active, when you become aware that, you know, I want to start having children, or I don't want children at all, or I want to wait to have children. So that's kind of where that thought process starts.
Cool. Yeah, no, for sure. I think a lot of people don't even think about that. But you're right. When you become sexually active, you got to start. You got to be prepared just in case. So yeah, we have a little workshop that we're going to get started. I am still having trouble, but that's totally fine. So I created a nice little document that can help you just kind of like plan everything out. I write things out. I feel super just like get everything out on paper, and then you're like, all right, like this is what we need to do. We're good. Yeah. So if you just want to kick that off, we can get started.
Yeah. So I'm definitely a planner, and I'm super OCD. So I decided to create this worksheet for you guys so that you can work through this on your own time or with your partner, or even if you're not with a partner, just to have your goals aligned and create your own reproductive life plan. So what is a reproductive life plan? It's basically what I was kind of saying earlier. It's when you kind of sit down and you decide, you know, am I someone who wants children? Am I someone who wants children now? Am I someone who doesn't want children? Or do I want children in the future? And so you think about those things and you start to think about, well, if I want children now, what are my goals? What are some things in my life, you know, or how can I prepare for pregnancy? Going to see a doctor and talking about that. You know, planning if you decide that you don't want children at all, planning how are you going to prevent pregnancy while being sexually active or not sexually active, just all of those things, kind of covering all of those bases and putting a plan for yourself so you can be better prepared. So the first thing that we have on our worksheet is your date and current age. And that's just so you can, you know, see where you're at in your life. And then the most important question, the key question that we want to ask ourselves is, how would I feel if I got pregnant within a year? Would I be someone, would that upset me? Would I feel unprepared? Would it be stressed out? Or would I be okay with that? Is that something I'm okay with? And, you know, once you, you know, kind of think over that answer, that will lead you to your next question. Do I want to have children or more children? Let's say you already have children and you're kind of thinking, you know, am I done with having kids or do I want more? And if you do want children, when do you think you want those children if you don't want them now, or if you don't want them a year from now? And then just how important is it to you to prevent pregnancy? So those are things, like I said, all of these questions kind of tie into that. You know, how am I going to prevent pregnancy if it's something I don't want or don't want at all, or not right now? And how can I prepare myself if actually, you know what, I do want kids and I want kids maybe within the next year? And, you know, going to your doctor and discussing your options of, you know, let's say there's somewhere here on this worksheet I did put, your current health conditions and medications. So something to talk about with your doctor. Let's say you have, some chronic issues or other, health issues like diabetes or, obesity, all of those kind of things. Able to talk with your doctor if you're taking any medications, how will that affect pregnancy or getting pregnant, or how that will affect your baby in the future. And then also I have here is just a place where you can list your goals. So your education and career goals. Some people may feel that they want to finish school before they have children. So, what is it that you want to do specifically with your career, your education? Is it something that if you have kids or if you have a surprise pregnancy that you're going to feel that you may be delayed in your goals in that area? And then also some life goals. So some people may feel that they want to get married, and that's a personal choice. Some people want to have children while married, and so maybe you will think about, well, how can I prevent pregnancy until me and my partner get married, or until I find a partner to get married. So those are all really important things to think about. This sheet is just kind of your own thing to do for yourself to kind of organize your thoughts. And then how will I prevent pregnancy until I'm ready? So this is kind of where Pandia Health comes in. So let's say you decide that, I don't want children, or I don't want children right now. And so you are going to think about, how will you prevent pregnancy if you are sexually active? What are you going to do to make sure that you don't get pregnant, that you don't fall from the path that you've created for yourself? And so Pandia Health does have a lot of birth control options. What was it that you guys had? The pill, the ring, and the
patch.
The patch, yes. So those are some options. And I know that, you do get a doctor consultation. Let's say if you already have a prescription for birth control, you can transfer that over to Pandia Health. Or you could, if you don't have a prescription, you can schedule a consult with one of their doctors. And you can use my code, that's Sabrina Perez,
check it out.
and get $5 off of that. So yeah, that's kind of it's kind of the thing to like the little sheet that we went through. And then just on the other sheet that I provided an information sheet. And I hope I'm not talking too fast. Am I going too fast?
No, this is great. Yeah, I was actually like taking some notes myself because I was like, this is such good information. And it's true. I think we don't always think about when we become sexually active, like how are we going to prevent pregnancy? And I was very lucky to have great sex education. I don't want to say great because my high school wasn't so good. But in college, I was super interested in that stuff myself. So I was able to learn and grow from that. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that, and it's really hard. So yeah, no, this is really great. Continue.
Awesome. So something just on the sheet, it kind of gives you like an example. So like I said, the worksheet is just for you to list things out, go through it bit by bit. So it looks a little longer than what a reproductive plan would actually look like. But what a reproductive plan basically is just some examples here. I'm not ready to have children now because I want to finish school first. I'll make sure I don't get pregnant. Either I won't have sex or I'll use birth control every time. So that's a reproductive life plan. Basically, those 3 little sentences is what a reproductive life plan is. It's something that you want for yourself and that you're going to work towards to either prevent pregnancy or become pregnant. And some tips too. There's an everyday, so exercise 30 minutes daily. That's something, to get you prepared. Let's say you do want children, or just to take care of yourself. You want to make sure that you're doing cardio 30 minutes a day, get your heart rate up. Vitamins, 400 micrograms of folic acid daily. Of course, check with your doctor. Every person is different depending on their own health conditions. And then definitely educate yourself about medicines and toxins that can cause birth defects. That's something, if you decide that you do want to have children within the next year or so, or you want to start planning for it, you can start looking into those things and how, everything around us basically affects pregnancy. And then, of course, the reproductive life planning and, when you want to have it and start planning towards that. And of course, your yearly doctor visits, getting your, your wellness checks, your mental health, all of that stuff in order, just taking care of yourself, putting yourself first every day. And then your diet is super important. Diet is a big factor when it comes to pregnancy. You want to make sure you're being, mindful of what you put in your body when you're either preparing for pregnancy or you are pregnant. And just like I said, just for yourself, if you decide you don't want children. And then avoiding tobacco, drugs, and alcohol. And then, just talking with your partner. What does your partner feel about your reproductive plan? If you are with someone, this plan, I tried to make it, I know it says pregnancy on it, but I did try to make it so that if you are dating someone, that they could, decide whether they are someone who can get pregnant or not, how they may feel having children. It does say, how would I feel if I or my partner got pregnant in the next year? So you can do this with your partner. You guys can discuss this and plan, or, if you're single, you can plan this. And when you find someone, figure it out.
Yeah, I have a question on that actually.
Yeah.
So for someone who might be a little bit nervous about starting the conversation on their reproductive health and moving forward with that, what are some tips you might have to start that conversation and be less nervous, because it's your reproductive health and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah. So like with your doctor or with like your partner or with?
Yeah, with your partner.
With your partner. Yeah. I think I would definitely, just kind of start with the questions of, how do you feel about children? I think that's really important. I don't want to give dating advice or anything, because we all kind of have our own thing. But I feel that it's really important for us to just kind of get a feel for where this person stands in their life. Something I know that some people get into relationships and they don't talk about children right away. And, later on you find out one wants kids and one doesn't. And so just that can be really tough. I think just starting with the question of hey, how do you feel about kids? I think that's the best thing. I feel like we just kind of have to, if you feel like you trust your partner and you are open with them from the beginning, getting into that conversation really casually, just, hey, what do you feel about kids? Or, let's say you're around your niece or nephew, they're playing with them and you just kind of would you want kids? Do you want kids? Kind of just going about it really casually.
Yeah, no, that makes it feel a lot more comfortable for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you have anything else you wanted to cover?
Let's see. I think we kind of went over everything. I feel like I went really fast.
No, it's all good. I would say, I know we did this with Dr. Yen on Tuesday. If you have any key takeaways from everything you just said, just kind of break it down.
Yeah.
What would those be? No pressure. I know I put you on the
So I would definitely say the key takeaways for today's workshop. Try to get that download. We're going to either have it, Pendia is going to, are you going to link it somewhere for them?
Yeah, I'm trying to put it in the comments and for some reason it's not working. But we'll figure it out. We'll definitely get that worksheet out.
And then if not, you guys can also go to my website, thesabrinapérez.net, and I will have it linked on my main page in about 30 minutes. I'll get it up there. So if you are not able to find it on Pendia's website, you can always go to my website and I will have that for you to work through that workshop. So I would definitely say just think about, do you want children? If you're unsure, that's totally fine too. So if you're unsure, that would mean how can you prevent pregnancy until you figure out if you want children or not? And so the next step would be, okay, I don't know if I want children or I don't want children. Try to get if you're not taking birth control right now, like I said, Pendia is a birth control delivery service, and you can use my code, TheSabrinaPérez, to schedule a birth control consult. We can help you with that. And the next takeaway is just how important is it to you to prevent pregnancy or start planning? And if you want to start planning, definitely schedule an appointment with your primary or your gynecologist and discuss those options.
Yeah, very true. Thank you for that. I was just going to say something about, Pandia Health. So as you mentioned, that's kind of where Pandia Health steps in. yeah, you can check out our website, pandiahealth.com, and there is not only an FAQ section on like all of the reproductive health topics, so birth control, what's going on with my uterus, because it can be kind of scary. It's a very complicated system. Even just starting the conversation, I know, right? It's like very not talked about, but Pandia Health, like everything is covered. There's like no shame in anything, which is really awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, and you can also check out within the website, there's a tab where you can go and get your birth control, figure out whether you want to keep your current prescription, in which case you can just get it delivered for free through Pandia Health. And as Dr. Yen says, like, run, don't walk to do that now, especially with everything in the Supreme Court. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So definitely do that as soon as possible. I actually just got mine delivered, which was really nice. I mean, I live close to the pharmacy and it's still kind of a hassle to go. So I can imagine for people who live, for like people who live far away, it can be even more frustrating.
I live in a rural place now, so.
Yeah. And it's like, it can be tough to get your birth control, especially when you have to go and like, so I know there's issues with insurance. Sometimes it's like, you'll show up and they're like, actually, we don't have your prescription. And you're like, wait, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, with Pandia Health, like there's that security, which is really awesome. So don't hesitate to check that out. And of course, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Yeah, I don't see any questions in the comments, but again, feel free to leave them as is. Before we go, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, I'm just really excited about this. I'm also nervous, but that was fun.
Yeah, you just got to get over the hurdle and it's all good. Yeah, no, this was really great. And again, like super important to think about, especially now. And I feel like I know people have a little bit more free time. Some, I'm not going to generalize. So now like you have some free time, just like, take a minute, fill out that worksheet once we get it out. And even if we can't do that, even just, I feel like making a list would be really helpful. Just having like a header for each thing. Like, okay, do I want kids? Yes or no? Like if yes, this is the path I'll take. If no, how will I prevent pregnancy? Like, I really like that, almost like a flow chart situation. And I'm sad that I couldn't share it because the worksheet you had was really nice and organized. But we'll figure out how to get that out. Yeah, no, I totally get it. But it's helpful. I mean, I think it's great to just list it all out. And have that plan, especially now again, like, yeah, totally. And then that way, if you're like, wait, what did I say about this? You have it right in front of you. And it's an act of self-care too, like just figuring out what you're doing with your life. It's scary, but I think it can be really comforting, as you mentioned. So
I printed my own and I was like, oh, I never really wrote it out. We like when we train, you kind of do like it really quick, when you're training for the family planning counselor. But I was like, now that I made this sheet, I'm going to fill it out and like really see like where I'm at now compared to when I took this course, a year and a half ago. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. I know it's easy to kind of like forget and then refer back to it. And you're like, oh yeah, like that's what I was thinking during that time. Yeah,
and even
that's
just
awesome.
as you grow, as you get older, your plans change and things that you want or your desire are no longer what you wanted when you were, 25, and now at 30, maybe you want something different. So it's always nice to kind of revisit that when you can.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's all great stuff. So yeah, thank you so much. This was really great. Don't forget to follow Sabrina on her social media. She has a really great Instagram page, and check out your website as well. I think I listed it in the comments. And that's pretty much it on our end. Thank you all for watching, whether you're watching now or at a later date. Share with your friends because this was all super important in both men and women, to be honest. So other than that, have a lovely rest of your evening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next live.
All right.
Bye.